I'll tell you what, man, that YouTube algorithm is nuts, bro. It's nuts. So if you guys have seen my channel for a while, you know that I haven't been doing well on YouTube for probably years, okay? So I decided to make a video recently about the Hodge twins. And it really wasn't anything crazy. It was just like, I just wanted to kind of do a fun little theory video about whether or not they're really conservative, because I've seen them jump on a lot of different trends, right? They've done the crypto twins, they've done fitness twins, they've done their news reactionary twins videos, they've done the dating and relationship twins videos. So I, as a YouTuber, does not think that it's crazy to assume that they saw a fine line between Trump supporters and conservatives being pretty extreme, and black Trump supporters wanting to find people that relate to them and finding a niche within that. Because I feel if you do liberal twins, it's not going to get as much play. It's just not. And so I'm not hating on them by any means whatsoever, right? But if you look at the video, and I implore you do go look at the video, and you can just go straight to the comments. I'm not looking for clout, as people have been telling me. Go read the comments. People were pissed at me for even dare say anything about them. And I'm like, yo, it's a theory video. It's just for fun. I'm not hating on them. I literally said they do YouTube better than me, and it's astounding that they do. You know what I mean? They've been able to literally make multiple channels that are successful again and again and again and again, and I really do implore them for that. And if this conservative twin thing is real, good for them. If the conservative thing is fake, good for them too. I didn't say anything bad in the video, so I'm just a little what is the deal, man? You know? Here's the thing. With this election, a lot of people's hearts are in it, and they're pretty heavy. And in a lot of ways, I feel like these people that are mad at me for making a video are kind of projecting, because they're upset about their president. I mean, he's all of our president, but the guy they wanted to win losing. And so they just want to do whatever they can to tear someone else down. Because if you look at the video, everyone, just about, that isn't a fan of mine or isn't on my side, it's just kind of being really mean and being really I don't know, ridiculous. They're saying things that aren't remotely true, things I didn't say in the video, and just name calling, and then it feels man, who hurt you? You know what I mean? Who peed in your grits? And the answer is Joe Biden peed in your grits, you know? Here's the thing. I don't subscribe to either party, okay? I'm not a liberal. I'm not a conservative. I like to say I'm a moderate, right? I like to say that I am someone who does not make a decision until I have all the facts in front of me. I don't make a choice until I know what I'm getting into. I can't tell you who I'm going to vote for next year. I can't tell you who I'm going to vote for in 4 years from now. I can't tell you any of that because I don't have any facts in front of me. I just know that certain things I believe in, Trump didn't support, and therefore I don't want him as president. And I don't think that should divide us as people. I'll be honest, I am one, it's just me, this is how I think, it's how I feel, because I grew up on South Side Chicago, I grew up in the hood, I saw a lot of violence growing up, but I also saw a lot of peace and prosperity as well, because my parents made money later and were able to actually get us in a place where it wasn't, it wasn't a factor for us, right? I saw things in Roseland, right? I was out there. My grandmother would yell at me about not playing around with project kids. You know, I also was in Harvey, which is now a kind of a hood suburb. At the time, it was a growing suburb in Chicago, South Chicago. I also grew up and went to high school in Hyde Park, which was, again, the hood, okay? I had seen all these things. I also lived properly in Chicago itself, 79th and Western. You know what I mean? I've seen it, and I've been there, and I've been across the board, and there are certain things that I believe in based on the way I was brought up that have informed my political affiliation and my political decisions, okay? Right now, I'm doing really well for myself. I'm doing better than the majority of black Americans. I'm doing better than the majority of, if you look at the averages of most Americans without a family, right? I have the income of probably some people's families, okay? And if I am, being selfish, I would probably vote for conservative means most of the time, right? Because it only really benefits me. But I don't believe in trickle-down economics. I just don't, which if you don't know what that is, that means the people at the top give some down to the lower rungs. It's historically never worked. If you look at any piece of history, it's historically never worked. And I also just don't believe in it. I want to see all of us be empowered. And I'm also, to be honest, like, and I'll say this, like, as someone who subscribes to being a Christian, but also a spiritual person as well, I don't want to, like, push my ideals on other people. I want them to come to their own. I want them to be able to, you know what? I have seen the light. I understand God has spoken to me, or, the universe has spoken to me, or whatever they believe. Like, I don't want to impose my ideals on anybody else. I just don't. And I think that's where, like, things get weird, because, like, I personally think that a woman's body should not be controlled by other people. Like, if you don't want to support, pro-life initiatives, don't. If you don't want to support pro-choice initiatives, don't. But it should be your prerogative. Like, someone else should not be putting their hand down and going like, no, this is wrong. Like I'm sorry, but, like, people are allowed to govern themselves in the same way that I don't believe in gun rights, right? Like, I don't think you should have a gun. I think that we should all just get rid of guns. And I get it, there's all kinds of metrics around this, but you guys are fighting for your rights, right? To have something, to bear arms that you want, right? And I think that in the same way, liberals are fighting for their right to have something that they want or don't want, which could be a child. And I think that, like, you're putting your own moral precipice on someone else. And that's what both people are doing, which is why I have a hard time. Again, I fall somewhere in the middle some of the times, and on the left a lot of the times, and on the right some of the other times. You know what I mean? Like, I am big on green initiatives. I don't think we should continue to support oil. I don't think we should do it. It's only hurting the planet. It's not renewable. It's only going to cost more, longer and longer rely on it. And if we actually build out green initiatives, we can create new jobs and help save the planet. Getting back into Paris Accords is the best thing we can do right now, because if we don't, we're dooming the planet. But then you have someone else say, they go, well, there's no proof of that. There is proof of that. And you can go both sides with it. You know what I mean? Like, I also don't think, like, to be honest, like, that there are some liberal ideas that I agree with at all. I don't think there should be any kind of extremities on either side. Now, I kind of wish there was a way to get the third parties involved on a higher level, because I feel like right now the two-party system is what really divides us. The two-party system is what keeps us from ever being able to really, really reach an edifice of being able to truly have unity, like true unity, being able to work with one another, like, in tandem, right? Like as long as we always subscribe to these two ideas, where there's, like, some good things you like and some bad things you like, and there's nothing else in the middle, you will never really find a place where we can all come together as a country. Like, I honestly wish that they would involve, I would say, like, I'm just saying parties I know, Green parties and Libertarians, I don't even know the other ones, but allow them to be on the front and center stage during the debates, because the debates are shown nationally. And to be honest, and let's all be real here, you and I both know that the majority of Americans are not doing research when they go to vote. They're not. They're just like, well, this is my party. This is what I decide I rock with. These are the things that I align with emotionally, things I align with spiritually, things I align with in general, cognitively, all of it. And that's how they vote. They don't look up the person. They don't always look up the records. I'm saying that, not saying that everyone is that way, but I am saying I do believe that the majority of Americans do not do research. They literally just make choices based on their feelings and based on the party affiliation that they align with the closest, because they know that the initiatives they believe in are going to get pressed forward. And I will say that because I know, like, when I started doing research on Joe Biden, and I will completely own this, I found some disturbing things in his past. I found that he said some things I'm like, yo, holy crap. Well, that's not good, And I can find the same things about Trump in the more recent past, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is that right now those are the two people that we had to choose from, regardless if you like it or not. And I'm not sitting here telling you that either one of them are perfect, either one of them are the most awful people ever. I'm not telling you that at all. I'm just telling you, based on the things that I've witnessed, based on things that I've grown up with, based on things that I believe, I have a hard time supporting Trump. And for me, Joe Biden was the lesser of two evils, which you always hear whenever it comes to politics, like the lesser of two evils. Like, there's rarely ever been a opportunity where it's like, oh, I'm just picking the best person. I feel like I probably felt that way with Obama, but again, that was Obama's persona. When you dig into his presidency in the later years, he was like, I won't say he was a do-nothing president, but he was very, very centrist to the point where he wasn't effective in his last term, which I think is what also allowed, Trump's gain and rise to popularity, because people were sick of the regular, tired politician. They wanted something different. They wanted someone that spoke like them. They wanted someone that wasn't clean and wasn't polished. And then we got it in Trump, and then a lot of people really refuted that concept based on things that Trump said himself. And yes, people will always say, like, well, Trump's not like your typical politician. Yeah, he's not going to sit here and just be nice and pick the flowers and show the peace sign. He's not. And then we have people now going the other way. We're like, yeah, we want that politician back. We want someone who might have experience or might be qualified. Like whenever I hear people go, well, look at Joe Biden. He's been in politics for 40 plus years and he's done nothing. And then I'm like, okay, cool. And so then is your point then to hire someone who has not been in politics at all? You know what I mean? You're like going like, well, this guy has a ton of experience and hasn't done anything, or this guy has no experience and hasn't done anything. You know what I mean? Like, not obviously not he's been president, he's done some things because he's had the power and initiatives. And I'm not saying everything that Trump did was bad. Trump did a lot of good. He really did. Like, I do feel like that Trump did kind of invigorate our economy in a big way, in a really big way. And people can say like, well, that's kind of, how it works. Things kind of build up over time, and then it's kind of not really the fault of that president. It's kind of the way things were going, et cetera, et cetera. Even the economy falling, that's not Trump's fault because that's the coronavirus's fault, which no one could have seen coming, right? No one could saw that coming. Like, you got to be fair on all sides. Like, I do feel like because Trump was more about getting us back jobs, and Trump was more about, really making America first, you did see prosperity here through things he put in place. But we fell back in a lot of other ways too that I think are really important that people don't focus on when they talk about what Trump did and what Trump didn't do. Like, I really do think that in times like Trump could be a little bit too heavy-handed, and it made us all nervous. We were expecting to be in a World War III at some point because of things he would say about world leaders and pulling us out of talks with people that were our supporters. And I think that at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff that's happening now will come back to hurt us in a couple of years. People might blame Joe Biden. They might blame the Democrats. But the thing is, you can't have momentum without something being set in motion. You know what I'm saying? So we gave a lot of money to people for free this year, which was needed because to stimulate the economy. Our country's in debt, man. That money is gonna have to try to get back in the hands of the people, of the people who like run the government. Somehow, they're gonna tax us. They just are. It was gonna happen no matter what. And so I'm really curious to see what Trump does with the executive powers. With the last run of his administration. I'm really curious to see what happens. But I don't know. There's still people out there who think that Trump hasn't lost the election. And they still think that Trump will be our president. And if that happens, we'll see what goes down. But ultimately, I want to make this video just kind of discuss, my thoughts on Trump supporters. Like, I don't hate you guys. Like, I actually really respect that you guys found something you believe in and ideals that you got behind. But at the same time, I'm not, like, you'll say, like, the media runs us, right? Here's the thing. I feel like you don't understand this, like, and maybe it's because you're in your own echo chamber, but I feel like every time I've ever, and I try to listen to both sides. I listen to talk radio on both ends, left and right. I watch Fox News, yes I do. I watch CNN, yes I do, because I want to hear what they're saying. Because if you live in that one space, you're only going to hear the one thing. You're only going to hear the one sided, the one type of rhetoric, and it's not going to change. But I just hear a lot of Trump supporters repeating the same points again and again and again that Donald Trump put out there. And that Fox News carries, like they repeat the same points over and over and over and over again. It feels like you guys have kind of been brainwashed to a small degree. And I'm saying that because I'm trying to be fair. Like, I feel like liberals get that way too. Anything on the extreme sounds like brainwashing to me, though. Anything on the extreme. I feel like liberals go with these same motives all the time, and so do the conservatives. They do. But for me, it's like when you listen to the things that a lot of conservatives are repeating, it sounds very divisive. It feels like they're trying to pick a fight constantly. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I picked up on. It feels like they're always trying to pick a fight. They're always name calling, They're always trying to do fear mongering, by pushing in socialism and communism and all this other stuff, And it's scary, because they'll repeat these things I've heard again and again and again. I can probably copy and paste the rhetoric I hear from different people I know that are conservative. Like, this is like way back in college. I went on a date with a girl. And, we're having a good time and it's fun. And then she somewhere along the way just says the phrase, blah, 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 baby killing liberals. And I'm like, what? Huh? You know what I mean? And the thing is, I get it. Like, you are saying that they are in favor of abortions and they are liberal. I get it. But you have to know that that's a divisive statement. You have to know that calling someone a baby killer is a big claim. When you know in your heart of hearts that those people, simply put, are not thinking of themselves as baby killers. They're not thinking of themselves that way, and you know that. You know what I mean? Like, even even if you want to pull it back, as a decent human being, you know those people are not considering themselves baby killers. You're not trying to have an intelligent conversation when you refer to someone as such. You know, you're just trying to pick a fight. I know that you're angry and you're impassioned and you care about your cause, but the way you do it is divisive. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly can't pick a liberal rhetoric that is just as insulting. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, liberal rhetoric on the other side of like the baby killing liberal thing is stay out of my uterus. Like, stop trying to control what I do with my body. You know what I mean? Like that is a thing. You know? And, you know, again, even the thing about taking away your guns. Like, they want to take away your guns. Like, that's what Republicans will tell you. They want to take away your guns. You know, they want to take away your rights. They're trying to fearmonger. They want you to know that they're trying to take something away from you. Meanwhile, on the liberal side, I feel like they just want there to be I would say, in some ways, an equilibrium where people die less from gun violence. Like, there's no insult for coming from that side. You know what I mean? And this is, again, I'm speaking purely from my headcanon, so I'm not sitting here picking points and trying to make anyone look worse than anybody else. I'm not trying to hate, honestly. I just am telling you what I'm seeing. And if you can show me a different way to think, show me. I'm always down to listen, always down to be educated. Okay? That is one thing I love about this forum, YouTube, is that I can say something, have a conversation, we can connect. But instead, there are people in my video saying that I might be autistic, you know? And these are the conservative people that think they're better, and it's like, yo, you're just insulting. Like, how do we come together when all you're doing is insulting and reviling and digging in? Like, I had a fight with a friend of mine, maybe I won't say a few months ago, maybe last year, and she literally said, like, people like you are what's wrong, blah, 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 right? And I'm like, what do you mean? Because I want to support, like, I was saying, like, how I think we should, like, have things in place to help support, you know, people that are disenfranchised and people that come from less, you know? And she started digging in on that. And it was just more of that rhetoric I hear that is divisive and not good. And honestly, it ended in, like, me insinuating with her of her being a racist, because it felt like what she was saying was, like, she didn't care about people who didn't grow up like her. She's rich, right? She didn't care about people that didn't have an opportunity to, you know, walk in and get everything they wanted handed to them, you know? And that's how it felt, you know? And I'm a big bootstrap person. I pull myself up by my bootstraps every day, not only just, like, financially, but also mentally. Like, I have an art degree, right? And I worked my way up to get into six figures because I knew that there was a path. I saw glass ceilings along the way in my career. I'm like, yo, you know what? If I can only make this much money, if I can only do this much, and there's a glass ceiling, I can't get above it, I gotta switch it out. So I studied, I taught myself new skills, I learned how to reformat my resume, I learned how to write resumes properly so you can always get found in search engines. I took a job working a career builder so I could learn how the back end of the engines worked, and so now I understand them better than pretty much anyone else. So I'm not sitting here telling you that you should hand things to people and give them things for free. I'm not telling you that. I am saying that as a human populace, we should want to help each other. We should want to support each other. We should want to give to one another. We should support, like, education and certain initiatives. We should want that. And that's all I'm saying. You know? Like, I'm never going to say, like, hey, just hand people money. I get weird around homeless people because I often wonder, like, why are you homeless? Like, how did you get to a point where, like, no one wanted to support you? And yeah, that might be a little bit judgmental, but that's where my head goes. Like, do you not have any friends, no family, nobody wanted to support you? I don't know their hardships. And at times I will still give. I will give very often, but I also have a hard time with it initially at first. I will think about the drugs and then blame the drug use or whatever. But I remind myself as well, I have an alcoholic mother. And that kind of thing is sometimes genetic. And you can't always beat the demons. You know what I mean? Like, I'm lucky I have a good resolve, right? But who's to say that in years to come, my life may not bring me down a path where I get so weakened and so beaten down that I turn to the demon in the bottle. You know, that happens to people. It happens to people because we're all humans. And so, like, am I right to judge this person who may have turned to drugs because things got too hard for them and they couldn't handle? You know, am I wrong? Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But at the same time, you know, like, am I supporting them by giving in and enabling them? I'll also say, no, I'm not right to enable them. It's a weird catch-22. And again, as a human, I lie on two sides. And I don't always know what to do, and I just try to do my best. I try my best to be a good person, try my best to help people, try my best to just rise above and try to support others. That's just what I try to do. So be you liberal, be you conservative, be you whatever. I just want to say, like, let's have a dialogue. Let's have a conversation. You know, like, explain to me where you're coming from. Explain to me why you think how you think. Because the only way that we grow is together. Otherwise, we can stay in the same place, keep the hate up, and we'll just be here forever, you know? With that said, yeah, man, it's been a weird week. I made a video yesterday where my family started calling me. They got really concerned. And I want to say, like, hey, I'm sorry if I concerned anybody. I'm sorry if I scared anybody. I was just being real. I'm working on getting a new therapist. I had a therapist I got rid of. I'm going through some things right now. I need to work through them. And the best way I work through things is talking out loud and being real. And I've done that on YouTube for almost 8+ years now. And I want you to know that, like, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm figuring it out. I'm fine. I like myself too much to do anything drastic. But I'm just letting you know, like, the thoughts cross my mind, you know, and that's just real. I think that this year alone, if I'm going to be real about anything, this is the time to do it, you know. I do have other videos I'm working on. They won't do well. Like, my political videos, the last 3 have done really well. But again, I'm not expecting that trend to continue, you know. But right now I'm just making videos for me, for my happiness, things that I want to watch, things that I would connect to, things that would pull me in, regardless of the algorithm. So thanks for letting me get that off my chest. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and we'll talk soon.